How do I feel about UTD parking? I think there is a shortage of parking, and while we are experiencing growth, which is great for the university, I think that as we build new buildings, we do away with parking. So we have the problem of more students and less place for them to park. As a professor, it's a concern for me because if students are having to park far away from campus or can't find parking spots, then they're late for class. And that's detrimental to both the class and to the student.
I think it's very awful. It's not working out right now. We've got way too many students for not enough parking spots, and there's lots of people with problems. I know my best friend said that he's colorblind, and because he's colorblind, he parked in orange instead of yellow. There's no markers indicating otherwise, so he had to pay the ticket no matter what, even if he tried to appeal it. So there's a lot of problems.
I feel like parking at UTD is the worst it's ever been. I haven't even bought a parking pass this semester because I don't want to waste my money for something that I can't even use, because even if I had a parking pass, I wouldn't be able to park in the spots that are designated for the green or gold parking spots. So.
Well, it sucks, and because it takes me 10-minute driving to come from my house to here, and it takes me maybe 15 to 20 minutes to get to class. Like, it takes me like 10 minutes just to find a parking spot, another 10 minutes just to walk to class, because all the parking lot around the SOM is typically full, and they just opened a new parking lot, and half of it is visitor orange and the purple. And I got the gold pass, I paid extra, and I'm still sometimes even parking in the green because I can't find any parking spots in the gold. And my solution to this is extend their parking lot. There's another soccer field and nobody uses it, so they could extend that. Or if they have the funding, they could just do a parking garage.
It's terrible. I had to wait like 30 minutes to find a parking spot.
UTD is very difficult for me. I have a gold pass. I bought it. I paid more money to have available parking, but I don't even get that. I always have to park in the orange and get tickets, but never pay for it. Half the time. And I try to say, I'm not paying for this thing because I don't believe we should have a lot of parking space available for UTD. We pay our tuition, $5,000 a semester, but where's that money going to?
I have to get here like an hour before class and drive around forever to try and find a parking spot. I think that they need better parking, and they need to not oversell as much all the parking spots. The school of management, they should know by now that has the most students, so they should definitely get more parking around here.
I feel there could be more parking definitely because the school is growing and we need more parking to accommodate more students. I got here this morning on time for class. It took me 20 minutes to find a parking spot, and there was only a few left. So I know there can be more because I know there's more students coming.
No comment on this issue.
It sucks. It really does. There's absolutely no parking. You sit there, you gotta come to school 45 minutes early to get a decent parking spot. There needs to be more gold parking, that's for sure. There needs to be more parking spots.
I think UTD parking pretty much sucks. I get here at like 9:30 in the morning and still can't find a space. On the side of campus that I use, I'm a science major. Almost all of my classes are in MSET, and I really hate having to park in remote at 9:30 in the morning when I paid $160 for a gold pass and still can't park in a decent space. I really don't think that's cool.
I'm a resident at UTD, and I think it's kind of ridiculous how we have to pay about $40 just to park somewhere where I'm paying $730 a month to live. It's a ridiculous charge. I don't even know what the fees go to. I don't know where all the parking permit money is going to, and I think it's really inappropriate that I have to pay that much for that. So that's how I feel about UTD parking.
How do you feel about UTD parking?
I know that UTD has made a lot of improvements to parking over the last semester, and time will tell whether or not it's going to be sufficient. But right now, parking in this building especially has been terrible in every year up to this point. Right now, it's getting better, but it's not great.
What parking sticker do you have?
I have an orange because I have to have an orange because for me to get to my class on time. If I park in yellow or green or anything else, it's so far away. By the time I get off work, get here, I can't get parking.
Okay, I think UTD parking was a waste of everything that just happened, expanding the parking lot. I think that it was kind of done half-ass because you don't do things like half-ass. You know, if you do it, you go all the way, you take it professional, and it was basically just a waste of time and money because if you're gonna, you know, make more parking, you should do it to where it benefits everybody, and this was just kind of a waste of money because there's still not parking over here. And if you have more children or more people in school, students, then you have parking, then you're essentially just ripping the students off. And I'm gonna come get my MBA, and now I'm like, why should I come here and spend my money here when they don't even respect me as a person, you know, enough to take the money that I pay for tuition to invest in making my school experience the best it can be.
There's not enough spaces. I mean, what else do you want? It's terrible.
Well, after about 4 semesters, I figured out like the perfect window to find parking. So I generally don't have a problem with it, but if I miss that window, I'm walking like 7 miles to class and I'm generally late because of it. And it's awful.
Thank you.
No problem.
I think it's horrible, especially with all the construction going on. I mean, I have a gold parking spot, yet I can never find gold parking, and I get here at around 9 in the freaking morning. And I also have a 7 o'clock class, but I also have things to do. So there are a bunch of times where I have to redo my schedule, so I'm stuck here all day just so I can keep my parking.
It's great, but it'd be nice if they had a parking garage.
If I come to UTD past 8 a.m., I cannot park anywhere except for the very back of the residence hall parking lots. That's really far away from everything, and that's really inconvenient for me. I live here even, but if I go anywhere, I have to come hours early in order to get anywhere, and that's terrible, man.
I think it's very horrible, very bad, very badly managed. Last year I bought my Gold Pass for $120. This year it increased about $40. I bought for $160. The students increased about 5,000, so that makes it really difficult since we only have 6,000 parking spots available here at UTD. We always have to compete every day, every morning. We have to come here about an hour earlier just to find a parking spot. For example, today I had a test. I live like an hour away from here, so I can't just go back to my house.
I honestly don't complain about it as much as other people. I get here so early that there are enough spaces to park, and also, you know, most of the time I will ride the bus anyway, so I kind of avoid all of that.
So you don't have a problem with UTD parking?
I'm probably in
you're neutral.
The first percentile that doesn't have a problem with it.
I think the UTD parking is pretty good. I just think people are lazy and they don't want to go park over there behind the library. There's plenty of spaces back there, but people just don't want to walk. They want to be lazy and get all these close-up spots, and that's why they think it sucks.
I know it's really difficult for students that commute to actually get here because it takes like 2 hours just to get here in general, and then to find parking, it's probably really difficult.
You as a visitor, what do you think about UTD parking?
It's horrible. It took me like 20 minutes just to find parking, and then I got all confused and went to the teachers section. It's confusing. It's hard to understand. I don't know what your like green lines and your purple lines and yellow lines or whatever you guys have. And yeah, and I go to Navarro. It's community college, and we have more than enough parking space. Like we don't even have to worry about that. That's just weird.
No. Faster for me to ride this stupid ripstick around campus than to try and find a parking spot.
So I come up here like 3 hours before the test so I won't.
How do you feel about UTD parking?
Oh, I waited so long!
Like that. What do you think about the UTD parking situation?
Honestly, I think it's horrible. What?
At UTD.
I can't find parking. Like I had to wait for like 45 minutes at least, like just to find a parking spot.
What's your technique on finding parking? Do you stalk someone from the building?
Hell yeah.
Okay, say bye.